Ben 6 points. I mean, come on, man.
Here we go. Which means we're live.
I didn't hear the music, Eytan.
No. Well, I got to start at 11 regardless. We got music.
I know, but when I don't hear the music, it's like that's my cue. You know,
puts you in that mindset.
It's my trigger.
I can't play them both at the same time. You know,
it triggers me. That
what do you
song.
think this is?
Well, I was accused.
Jimmy Butler behind you.
Yes, it is. One of my favorite players. I miss him.
That was the easiest thing to call last night from a mile away.
Yeah.
As soon as you found out that Jimmy Butler was playing, it didn't matter if Joel Embiid was playing. It didn't matter if Dr. J was playing. Jimmy Butler was going to make sure that the Miami Heat were not going to be the team that gives up the victory as well as allows the you could see Jimmy saying to everybody there before the game, it ain't happening here.
Not on our watch.
Philly, Orlando, it ain't happening here.
Not on my watch.
Nope.
Joel, Ben, I hate to do it to you.
Exactly. That's a very well used usage of I hate to do it to you. I wish Doc said that in the locker room right after the game. He just came in, guys. I hate to do it to you, and then just walk out.
Drop mic. You know, that's all he had to say. I mean, seriously, man. I mean, the effort that we got, ridiculous.
Did you bet the game, Eytan?
I took
live.
Well, I didn't bet it live. I jumped on the Heat as soon as I saw Jimmy playing. I jumped on the Heat. And then I got a bad tip online about the total. So this is what I did. I got a bad tip online, a 20-unit wager on the over 217.5.
20 units?
Yeah, the Philadelphia 76ers embarrassed themselves last night. So they had multiple quarters in which they couldn't even get to 20, right? Or it was awful.
Yeah.
And was struggled to get to 20, I should say. And at that point, I knew I was cooked. So I had to hedge that night and take those 20 units that I lost and put them on the Suns money line.
Wow.
That thing came down from the wire. Yeah.
Yeah. But you needed Booker's free throws at the end of that game, right?
I'm exhausted. I ate a lot of crap.
You should be.
Seriously, man. Like, I found out an end around to working out. I ate a lot of crap this week. I just had a fast food coffee and whatever the sandwich du jour is that they offer. I feel like I'm losing weight. Like, this is a sweat chamber that I'm in when I'm watching some of these bets. Sometimes they just get cooked right away and you throw it out there. But yeah, that's where it was, unfortunately. But the Heat themselves, you just knew it. And look, that should, I think, and I know this is going to sound bad, but I think, the game last night is indicative of two things. One, where Jimmy Butler is and who he is and just how petty and what drives him, and just it's amazing to see it.
I love it.
So that the Sixers, I feel like they need a game or so to kind of kick out of this funk whenever they play down to teams. Like, watch, they'll come out and they'll destroy Orlando, and it'll look like nothing has ever happened. But this was a game where we talk about with Crystal right earlier about how they need to sweep or maybe only lose one game. That's the DNA that we saw last night of a 4-2 or a 4-3 first round
against an 8 seed.
Yeah, which I don't like.
Yeah, I totally am with you. I got into it with one of our colleagues just before the show. Because they basically, our buddy Mike Gill, he sort of plays off losses. Like, he never wants to really react one way or the other. He doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. He's right in the middle, right? So it's perfect for the show.
He's not on the middle here, though.
He's not on the middle, but his tweet will be.
Yeah.
Because he's talking about if the Sixers looked great last night and won, the narrative today is, man, they don't play a playoff game for 8 or 9 days. But they play poorly, and this isn't how I want them to look in 8 or 9 days. Every day, every game is different. And it's like, yeah, that may be true as far as narratives. It wouldn't necessarily be my narrative. But if I had to choose narratives, I would much prefer that they came out like gangbusters last night and took care of business against their final quality opponent that they're going to play before the playoffs. That would make me feel a little bit better about this team. And to go with what you're saying, that would make me feel like they're going to dispose of whoever the 8th seed is, whether it's Charlotte, Boston, or whoever, in right fashion in 4 or 5 games.
Don't even play with them. Don't even play them.
Yes.
Stick the dagger
Step on their throat and be done with it.
But that all comes in, just like you said, preparation, the last couple of games going into the playoffs, as opposed to waiting and trying to turn it on and whatever it is with 8 to 10 days.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. You have to set the tempo now.
Yeah.
Going in with a narrative that, all right, we're not playing.
Now,
let no doubt in anybody's mind who's the better team when we're playing the AC team.
Right, because a blowout of Orlando is not going to make you feel all that great. Yeah, you clinch, but it's like they should blow out Orlando.
You'll feel like where Cole Hamill said after that second year, after they won the series, like, I just can't wait to go home.
Don't be ripping Cole Hamels now.
No?
No. Cole Hamels is game on.
Remember
buddy Larry Boa said.
Can't wait to go home.
JAKIB Media.
And you, my friend, are caught in the middle.
The Middle starts now on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, a Friday. Wait until you hear this.
What, do we have breaking news?
Yeah, we have breaking news.
Do we have a breaking news sounder?
No, it's not national news. It's show
okay.
news. Well, maybe it is national news, depending on how many people follow me and what I'm doing.
Okay. Wait a second. This is another job to add to your resume. Is that what we're talking about here? Are you now an actor? Did you get the gig?
No. That actually, I have been approved. So there's one more thing I need to do, and I'm going to do that the start of June, in which I just get the physical certification from QVC. But I've already been approved. I've already been locked in by a certain vendor. I'm not going to go public with anything until I have the certification.
Right.
But I'm locked in. There's going to be a new brand that's launching in August that I'm going to be one of the main faces for. So that's huge. Like, yeah, you guys. It
has to be haircut, man. It has to be skull, some type of skull shaving, some type of something like that, bro.
I'm telling you, there's some things happening here that's much bigger in the works.
Are you going to be on billboards and stuff?
No, not billboards. I'm trying to get the vendor to work with us. Like, I'm trying to get a segment every day or 2-3 times a week, right?
Yeah.
Where, maybe I can pop on Birds 365 every Wednesday and start selling some stuff. Like, here's a flashlight that could also break the glass in your car.
Talking about Birds 365, we got to bring that show up later in the show today.
Okay.
Well,
here's what I have for you. All right. The very first, I don't think anybody else, at least that I know, has got in here. The very first 8-team 3-bet round robin is in for week 1.
Already
8 separate games, each game representing a play.
NFL games.
3-bet parlay, 8-play round robin. NFL week 1 is in. And guess what? I got the Falcons at -3.5.
Oh my God.
We got a lot of things happening here. A lot of things. All right, we can keep going.
Oh, so yeah. How do you get a round robin this far away? Like I said,
their lines out. The lines are there. You're available to bet. They can't wait to take your money, Barrett.
That's crazy, man.
It being this early. They're never out this legally. They're never out this early, right?
Yeah,
you can go overseas and do your illegal betting, right?
You don't even need to go overseas. You just go onto a different website.
Yeah, I'm looking here at the stream. Ash points out there used to be an Eytan and Mays derailed billboard in Willow Grove.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember that?
That's right.
And John Shelton's asking a question. Is Barrett shot today after doing his hit on the Farsi show? What time were you up to do that?
Oh, early, man, like 6 in the morning.
Wow, you get up at 6 a.m. for Farsi?
It's
I hate to do it.
Man, Forrest is a good dude to me, man. I mean, I know others may not think so.
Middle mention. How many times was
how many
Middle
times
with
Two
Barrett,
times.
Brooks, Harry Mays, and
was
Eytan
my name,
Shander?
Eytan's name mentioned specifically,
Nope.
or was it just under the
No.
innocuous middle?
Yep,
It was on the innocuous
exactly.
middle.
This dude
And I
is your boy.
And I
who's
didn't know.
a friend of yours. He can't even prop. Hey, Barrett, tell us about this new show. How fucking hard is that to do? Jesus Christ.
I didn't know we had a name drop.
Come on all the damn time. We do that with John.
I'm gonna get Forrest on, man. I'm gonna just go get him on, man.
Hey, how's it going with your new show? Ray Bittinger?
Yeah.
Jesus. He couldn't ask you that one question?
What's that idiot Mays like to work with on a daily basis, Barrett? That would be a good
Well,
question,
you're always
right?
the topic of the conversation when I
Everybody
talk.
wants something. You know, we're doing something. Everybody wants something, but nobody wants to give back. Isn't that amazing? Fucking ridiculous.
Wow, he's cursing. Now
He was waiting to do that. I can tell from the Texas. It started out with the damn Texas early this morning.
Seriously, man.
What the hell is this?
You think Cataldi doesn't know what he's doing calling this thing a podcast? Get the hell out of here.
What does that mean? I don't understand. What does that mean?
It means that he's not allowed to acknowledge, it's because it would be seen as a threat.
Well,
wow.
I count that as, I'm doing my job. I mean, when you count us as a threat, when you see, when you checking out, this is new. This is the new
eating. That's
just
bringing
saying.
you on to talk about something and not acknowledging what you're doing.
Man, I don't get
and hiding behind NBC Sports, NBC Sports. Yes, NBC Sports. That's a big part of what you're doing. But if
JAKIB Media.
But I'm saying if they're going to mention the show, then ask.
Wow.
Cataldi is this master interviewer, right? Oh, the Stern of sports radio, all this crap about. Well, all right. How about asking about the freaking show? It's like interviewing 101.
I'm not gonna lie.
We're on this morning.
I can't let anybody have that much power over me, man.
I won't even mention our names.
Live from the O'Reilly.
Tell you, man, we do way too much for people. Way too much.
Barrett Brooks and Harry Mays.
Seriously.
This is the new innovative way of people consuming media.
Mm-hmm.
We're the innovators in this. We started this. We're making things happen. So sometimes you got to count it all joy as being the innovators, the people that are really bringing people up on real game here. This is what this is, man. Don't worry about all that extracurricular BS, man. Worry about the middle, JAKIB Media, how we're smashing this thing,
exactly.
Man, how they're taking notice.
I'm out here promoting this stuff every day.
Well, yeah, that's my issue is the promoting of it. And if people want to have us on, even though we all do different things, then mention it. It's the same thing. I get brought on different shows. Harry, Barrett, we all get brought on different places because we do different things. I was on the Jake Asman show
yesterday.
Right? So
yeah, I listened to it.
That my point of it isn't you, Barrett. I'm saying it's that this show gets minimized and reduced to an afterthought when even when you were just on a show today that is essentially copied what we've done, even though we brought this idea to the station before we were all gone for different reasons, it's the lack of any type of discussion about it. It's just, all right, you mention it and that's it. That's what I'm saying is you're right. We are doing something different. We are doing something newer here. And while not everybody has caught on and grasped it, I would think at the very least, people who are doing something similar would at least acknowledge what we're doing. That's all I'm saying. And there's a reason why, don't you see? There's a reason why that names won't get mentioned in this stuff. We talk about everybody. We don't have any restriction hanging over us. There's no agent who's like, oh man, there's no program director. Don't man. There's none of that hangs over with our show. So we do talk freely about stuff. So my beef isn't with you or anything like that or the show. It's just that in general, where you specifically, because you're going to be the bigger draw with the three of us, it's like people are getting over not mentioning the specifics of the show. Like, how hard is it to mention the names of the people on the damn show? That's all.
Well, we're poison, you and me.
And if you don't look for, you miss.
Eytan, you and I are poison in many people's minds. Do you realize that, right?
Yes, but that's
how is that though?
They want the benefit of having Barrett on from the show and everything else. Yet they'll skirt around mentioning the show. They'll just give it a quick little blah. That's it. And that's BS. Now I got to be careful because we're back on the.
Yeah, you got to watch your mouth.
Yeah, we
don't need Ron Culver taking a beating for missing the dump button. You know what I mean?
We don't have that. So
well,
at
no.
this point,
hopefully Ron has one.
Yeah,
he's
Ron
got one.
Well, if he's listening, Double N, you listening? Probably not. Probably not.
No,
he's probably enjoying a bowl of cereal right now. You know,
he hasn't had to dump anything with me or you or Barrett.
No. Yeah, crickets. There he is. There he is.
Off cue.
Just to put your minds at ease, yes, I have a dump button, and I don't know why. I think it's the parent in me. I pick up on the bad language. So you guys are safe. I haven't had to dump either one of you three yet.
No, look,
yet
it's a theme. That's
I
all I'm
always
saying.
say yeah. I'm never gonna say definitive. Like you guys are all good.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not.
All good, like it's all good.
Well, let's get it back to the Sixers here for a second. And
bring out 4 letters. Be careful.
Okay, I want to
wait. Before we get on the Sixers, man, let's just put this to bed.
Oh,
we are the innovators. Sometimes, man, you just got to understand when you're a threat to people. That means you're involved. You're in their head mentally. Don't let them in your head mentally. I never do that.
Wait a second. This wasn't an issue until you were on that show. And I didn't care about you being on a show. I like that you're on different shows. What I want is the people to accurately represent this program. How hard is that?
Well, they don't.
That's all I'm asking for.
Bro, they come get us because we are what everybody's looking for.
No.
They're consuming us as a whole.
Who's they?
Everyone.
I'm talking about the shows specifically that you were on that refused to acknowledge this show for what it is and instead glossed over it.
I don't think they glossed over it because they asked me at the beginning.
Angelo Cataldi called it a podcast. He wouldn't even reference the 2 people's names on the show outside of Jason Martinez, who's not even on the show.
But he mentioned Jason because Jason used to work there.
So did I. I used to work at Cataldi.
Well, you're poison.
What?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're poison, and so am I.
Okay, but that's what I want.
But see, I
admit that. Okay.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what makes you guys poison, though.
Reference me or Harry. He doesn't even have a program director. He's doing his own show.
I'm just saying, what makes you guys poison? I mean, you guys are great dudes.
Just ask around. Ask around. Do us all a favor and do that over the next week. Call up some of your buddies. Text some of your
with guys like Andy Bloom and Eric Johnson.
Well, Andy Bloom said I was the worst radio host ever.
Guys who got buried in a crater because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. Jack Silver at NBC, who ran the network into the ground. These are the people that I had problems with, and I'm labeled an issue because the people that I was working for are idiots, and time and history has proven such. Andy Bloom's not even in sports anymore. Eric Johnson got relegated to some music station in southern Delaware.
Bro,
NBC Sports Radio isn't even on the air anymore.
Bro, I'm just saying this. Andy Bloom didn't know what the hell he was talking about anyways, man. Because at the end of the day, he told me I would never be good.
I can't speak for Harry, but that's the problem I have is I had problem with incompetent people, in my opinion. And therefore, because I was below them, I'm labeled as poison.
Right. You're an incorrigible.
Right.
Yes.
This all is because we couldn't get our damn name said. Another show that Barrett's on representing our show. And it's not your job, Barrett, to jump in. I'm not blaming you for this. I'm just saying it seems like a theme.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm just saying that. Well, the last time you guys were discussed, was when I was at NBC Sports. We were talking about gambling and Harry and Eytan.
See? Oh, those guys are bad, man. Barrett, don't let them influence you, man. They're poison.
And then I wake up thinking about round robins.
Yeah. that Mays guy was talking about gambling 10 years ago on the radio. He's a bad man.
Stay away.
I'm telling you. Now it's all legalized and everybody's got to take now.
Everybody, yeah.
Harry's poison, even though he's worked with every single person in this city.
I've worked with 50 different people on the radio.
He's poison, yet he still worked with more and more everybody who came in, he was able to work with. Yeah, for some reason.
Right.
Just say our damn name. How hard is that? Keep our name in your mouth. All right, you're gonna
say their name,
Barrett, and keep our name in your mouth. Jeez, Jay Whiz.
Well, Jay Whiz. Let's get him on.
Who?
Mark.
No,
Farzetta.
it's not about grilling Mark. Look, I'm happy that Mark has found a platform and can do his own thing and not have to worry about the issues that he dealt with, that we dealt with
Right.
at a station that's getting tripled.
And he only has to do an hour a day.
Well, no,
So
no,
he's got us beat.
Right. I mean, if we were going to attack the problem, it would be to bring Cataldi on. I think
I'd
Mark
love to get him on.
Well, exactly. I can email Angelo to see if he'll come on. I'm just saying, as far as that is concerned, look, it's like attacking something on the leaves, not the root of the problem. But whatever you guys want to do, it's fine with me. I just am curious as to why it's so hard for people to acknowledge what we're doing, especially when the numbers are there. Like, do you think, let me ask you this. Do you think that if Jody Mack gets booked on the Mark Farzetta show or the Angelo Cataldi show or the Craig Carton show and Birds 365 is referenced, that it's not Birds 365 with Jody Mack and John McMullen, something along those lines?
I don't think it would.
You think it would be different, you mean?
I think as somebody who would, yes, I do.
I think they would just say
it every
Birds
time
on
we
Birds
have
360.
on.
I think they would just say Birds 360. They wouldn't even say Jody Mack. I think
Well,
it's
that
just
Birds 360 isn't even the name of the show, so they'd get it wrong.
Well, Birds 365. The point being is that you would say it.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
Once you would say it at least. Look, it's just customary.
Yeah.
You would say it at least once when you introduce it and say, "Hey, it's John McMullen." You know, Birds 365. Like that's part of the whole introductory thing. Or maybe you save it for the end. So you don't have to do it every single time. Barrett, you're right. They're resetting the show, something like that. Then they would say from Birds 365. But all I'm saying is it seems a little thematic. That's
You're sensing a theme.
I'm sensing a theme.
You're sensing the fact that we are being slighted.
Well, I'm on it now. Now you've made me aware of the possible problems in this.
Well, here's the other thing too. Have you, Eytan, ever been asked to guest on Birds 365? Because I know I haven't.
I have not either.
Yet we got accused, or we got labeled today by one of the hosts as having significant cachet.
Really?
Yes.
No question about that.
Yeah, Barrett has been on that show, I feel like 15 times over, right?
If I got so much damn cachet, why haven't I been on the show? That's my question.
Fair point.
That's a fair point, Mikey.
Yeah, you know. Honestly,
so I'm offering myself up as a guest.
Available. Now you're going to be a guest on a show that you're basically begging to be on.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I'm begging?
Do you still feel? I don't know. Would you still feel like you've earned the guest spot, or would you feel like you've just bogarted your way in?
But
it's a good.
They
question.
reference you all the time, though.
That's a
they
good.
Always
question.
reference us.
What do you mean? What do you mean they always reference us?
As you know, the middle and you know what we bring to the table. They always do. They've always got to say, "Well, I was on this show with Eytan, Harry, and Brooksy, and they were saying it was going this direction." I've heard that a many a days.
On what, Birds 365?
Yep.
Yeah. See, Harry, they probably think like since they reference us and they can get 5 minutes out of something that we may say positive or negative, then it's their way to turn around and say, all right, you know, they've cheated and then they got some content from it. So maybe they think that that's an end around the booking.
Oh, okay. We don't need to book them.
Just saying. Just saying. Maybe there's an element to it.
That's my dog. He said they cheated.
Right?
You my dog, man. You know, don't steal our. Don't do it. This is our.
All right. Should the Sixers feel threatened by the Heat in the second round as a result of last night, or no?
If they play the Heat in the second round?
Well, they probably will. I mean, they play the 4-5 in the second round, and I would think the Heat would probably win that series, their first series.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be easy at all for the Sixers to just roll through Miami. And especially if, for whatever reason, guys, I imagine can't afford to have off nights. Like Tobias Harris is pretty much you cannot have a night where he's not dropping 20 in that game, in that series. So he's pretty much, you know, Ben Simmons can't have these games where he disappears offensively And that doesn't mean from the outside, but that means, getting to the line, stuff like that. So the margin of error, actually, I think it's really for Miami, I think more than any other of those teams below Milwaukee, even the Knicks. But if Miami, for me personally, yes, there is this mental hold that Jimmy Butler has. The team is talented. They shoot and they force you to really defend the perimeter. And Bam is not going to stop Joel Embiid, but Bam at least is a guy that you have to pay attention to when the Heat have the ball. Like, he is somebody that can bother you to hurt you depending on where they are on the floor, offensive rebounds, and even get some buckets. So, yeah, he's not going to stop Joel Embiid, but he's a factor down low. You add all that up, Duncan Robinson could have 10 threes in the first half if Ben isn't on his game. So that Heat team bothers me more so than any other team outside of the obvious two.
All right. I think the exact same thing. You don't feel threatened by the Heat at all?
Hold on, Barrett. Hold on. We got to take a break. We'll be back in 3, and Barrett will explain that.
Absolutely.
It's the Middle, Philly Voice, JAKIB Media YouTube. We need you to like, subscribe, and share. Remember, it's Barrett Brooks. It's Harry Mays. It's Eytan Shander.
Say our name.
It's the Middle. We need that drop. We'll be back in 3.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network.
The philosophy that guides my work as an attorney is, number one, that we are in place of a position of trust. And that trust provides a certain obligation upon us that we must fulfill for each and every client. That a client just simply isn't another number. While we may have many cases here, the client only has one. And they deserve the utmost attention, information, and a full and candid relay of the aspects of their litigation, and for us to be available for questions. We understand that the questions involved in litigation go beyond the case. The clients often have many challenges that they have to face as a result of the incident that led them to us, and we must first and foremost appreciate that and make sure that we're there to help throughout not only the case but also throughout the client's life.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods, your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
You're listening to The Middle on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, guys, let's have it, Barrett. Before we broke, I broke down all of the issues that I have with the Miami Heat more so than the others. And Barrett, right as Harry said, I completely agree, said I completely disagree.
I truly do. I mean, I really think that this 76ers team think they could just turn it on when the lights come on. And sometimes they play down to their opponent when they shouldn't. They're not fully matured enough as a powerhouse type of team to just turn it on like that. They're going to have to go into this series against Jimmy Butler in the second round and play like, this is their last shot, like they're playing against the Lakers. And I think that game is going to solidify that. How many times do you think they're going to be able to hold Joel Embiid after playing 25 minutes to 6 points?
No, Joel Embiid held Joel Embiid down last night.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So that's not going to happen.
Right.
They're going to be ready in the second round of the playoffs to totally destroy this Miami team. Of course, you heard Butler talking trash. The entire team, heroes talking trash. They're going to go in.
They take on his personality.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
At this point, I'm not worried about it. I will the second playoff series, they will be ready to rock. That's when I'm really not going to be worried about. They're going to rock and roll. It's a done deal.
Will you be worried if it takes 6 games for the Sixers to dispose of whoever they play in the first round?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be worried about that.
All right.
Because they play down to their opponent a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Which carries over, which is what we just saw. That was my whole point about why this team against Miami couldn't get up, is they play down, and then it carries over. So if they're playing down in the first round, it's going to carry over to a team that is just waiting. I mean, this team is just waiting, not just for the Sixers to make a mistake or to play down or just to come out slow, but to let them know about it as well. And it's a bunch of young guys who are just following Jimmy Butler's lead right now. And Jimmy loves it because it's everything he wanted in Minnesota that he now has in Miami, or even here. He wanted in Philly, even more so. And Ben and these other guys, no, not so much. Joel was like, yeah. So there's also this element of experience. The Heat, when they got to the playoffs last year, they took advantage of that bubble and they made that run. And that
got to the finals. Yeah.
And that's mileage on their tires now.
Sure.
We can't undo that. And I think if it's
a positive.
Yes, I think it's a positive for Butler. I don't think they win. I don't think they beat the Sixers, but I'd be shocked if the thing doesn't go to 6.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Sixers are better. They're clearly better.
They are better.
When they want to be.
Better, yep.
When they want to be. So, but that is a negative aspect of a team's DNA when they play down to competition, or when they feel that they can sort of take the night off because, we can win it tomorrow night against this other team. You know what I mean? It's just something about that doesn't scream championship DNA to me.
That's exactly what I've been saying. They lack the maturity to go out there and be a top tier team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. In order to be a winning team, it's a learned response. It's a learned behavior. The Steelers, that organization learned how to be champions. So they conducted themselves as champions. Every night they think that they can go out and beat any team no matter what. It's a learned response. You look at the Patriots. That was a learned response. To be championship team year in and year out, that's something they learn.
Right.
Cleveland still hasn't done it yet.
Right, but then as new players come into their fold, they immediately adopt that culture or they're out.
Exactly.
Right.
You mean you learn what it is to be, that logo on the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn to be a championship team. Just like
that's a good one. You brought up the Browns, because they're a team that's on the come. Everybody realizes
they're learning it.
A loaded roster.
Yep.
They're taking steps. They took steps last year. Now this year, you expect them, or they would hope to take an additional step. And at some point, they become possibly a championship caliber team.
Exactly.
They're not there yet.
Bills. Yep. Yeah. The Buffalo Bills the same way.
Yep.
Well,
But you look at the Kansas City team. The Kansas City team, they've learned that culture. They've learned to be a championship type of culture. So they're expected to go in and beat teams, as soon as they step on the field. That's a learned response. You come in and you get it you get infused into that culture.
Mm-hmm.
So the Eagles, I can't even see them going in and and having a losing culture even this year. That's why I'm kind of starting to look up on them, because you can't just lose that culture in just 1 year. It's hard to just lose it all. And I think the Sixers team, they're learning to be a winning culture. So they're going to have to learn not to go in and just squander, trick off games every once in a while.
With the Eagles, though, that so much has left the building from that existing culture. That's where I have the problem with it. It's like, Sirianni and all these guys are new guys to this whole organization. The only leftovers was the front office, and I don't know that I like their culture.
Well,
all
right, I'll go back to the Steelers again. When Cowher left, that culture didn't leave; it stayed there.
Well, because that front office gets it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I'm saying. The organization.
Oh, so you're saying when Big Red left, that culture left?
Yeah.
Doug Peterson tanked his exit interview. Jim Schwartz turned down a raise. Carson Wentz forced to trade. Yes, and then to unretire. That's a little different than Bill Cowher winning, finally getting his Super Bowl and being allowed to ride off into the sunset. And then look at the history since of the two teams. Like Mike Tomlin has been that hire 10 times over the right guy. The Eagles are right back to square one. Here's what I think works against the Eagles, though, is that you just don't have, and maybe it is from a betting standpoint, you can look at that individually separate from expectations. I understand that. But you just don't have a kind history to first-year coaches, first-year quarterbacks, first-year coordinators. Even if you can find that depth of just who's brand new, it takes time. It takes time. That's why this Atlanta game, man, I'm starting to rethink that thing 15 times now.
That's going to ruin your whole round robin. The Eagles are going to win that game.
Good. I'll root against them then.
Flag's real.
And I have breaking news.
All right. So we got that coming up.
Okay.
Yep.
Not the Culture Club.
The Blue Oyster Club.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready. In just 8 or 16 weeks, train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
The middle.
You can't have pigs in a blanket followed up by filet mignon, followed up by peach cobbler. It's too much. It's too out of control.
Are you kidding me?
There needs to be a sense of chocolate.
I don't know who this person is.
Filet mignon with Crown Royale.
Vanilla ice cream and apple pie. You might as well just kick somebody in the groin.
The Middle with Eytan, Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
How much time till we're back?
40.
40. Did you see Jason Barrett's website piece on Lazy Sports Radio?
No.
It's pretty funny. They did a draft of the lazy sports radio topics. It's pretty funny.
Get it back to football, guys.
Number 2 is Mount Rushmore. And number 1 is locks, like gambling locks.
I'm sorry, I'm just at work.
He's not even listening.
Should we do it?
Yeah.
I mean, how much of that do we do?
We don't do any of it, really, except the gambling aspect of it.
How is that lazy?
The O'Reilly Auto Parts Studio.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
You got to be pretty innovative to do round robins, bro.
Yeah,
not everybody can do a round robin.
Right.
This is the same website that has Jay Marriott talking about how
Jay Mariotti.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jay Mariotti.
Jay Hilton?
Yeah.
Not Paris Hilton. What's she doing right now?
I don't know.
Whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, right.
But I'm saying, like,
Exactly.
public eye. I don't mean specifically. I
Yeah.
don't care about what she's doing in her day-to-day life. I just meant as far as public eye.
Yeah.
Is she involved in any television shows?
You don't see much of her anymore.
No,
Not
no,
involved
you
in
don't.
television shows. I mean, television shows is more involved with who? That's
What
probably
was that
more so.
show she did that was on Fox with that other Richie, Lionel Richie's
Simple Life.
daughter?
Yeah.
Is Simple Life? Is that what
Yeah,
it's
it was
called?
an early reality show.
Yeah.
Now,
The worst.
you talk about a draft. Would you draft A Simple Life or The Real World? As
I
far
never
as
got
reality
with the
TV?
real world.
Yeah, I never
No?
was much of a real world guy, but I would go Simple Life simply because I was always kind of attracted to Paris Hilton.
I could see you as a Nicole Richie guy.
Me too.
Well, I wasn't opposed
Nicole
to her
Richie.
either, but I not see. That's the problem with today is when you say you're attracted to one, it means you don't like the other. That's not the case. There's a nuance here. I liked both of them,
Right.
but Paris, I'd rank her ahead.
Correct.
Well, would you add Big Brothers After Dark with
Big
that?
Brother
with the
After
3?
Dark.
I don't know about anything after dark. Unless
Wow.
it's on the Playboy channel.
Spice Network.
Seriously.
Were you ever
I watch it.
were you a Spiceman?
Spice. I think they called it a Spicer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're a Spicer, right?
Yeah, you're Team Spicer. And then Elliot Spicer came around and you couldn't say it anymore.
Elliot Spitzer. Yes.
Yeah, Spitzer.
Okay. But I have breaking news.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it. Let's have it.
Regarding what we were talking about to start the show. Apparently it has worked. I will be a guest of Birds 365 next Tuesday. So Tuesday, a couple days from now, at 9:20 a.m. in the morning.
What?
I got my choice of days from McMullen. I said any day but Monday. And he said, you want 8:20 or 9:20 on Tuesday? And I chose 9:20. So he's very accommodating.
This is a pity ask. A very pity ask.
Is that how you're taking this?
I'm taking it as such. Seriously. I mean, you shamed them into asking you to be on the show.
Sometimes you have to shame people to do the right things.
It's the right thing to do, man.
Yes.
Is it shaming people into doing it, into being on the program?
I commend both of the Birds 365 hosts for reaching out, Jody Mack and John McMullen.
So that means they're watching the show too.
So you upset McMullen so much that he had to go get Jody involved as well?
Well, I'm sure he consulted with Jody. I don't think he's just going to hijack the show, put me on it without Jody's approval.
I don't know. I don't think Jody would be upset booking you. You guys go back. Go away.
I know. We used to work together.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So I don't think that he would be opposed to it. Would you?
Well,
You
he never reached out.
Well,
no.
And I never did a 9:40 show. I was always 8:40 or 8:20.
8:20.
Yeah, I'm always the early guy.
Well, yeah,
So at
you
least
were
you
on
got
with
the pick.
Farsi at 6 a.m. Doesn't get much earlier than that.
No.
I was on a morning show. What was that? 7:10 a.m.
What, on TV?
No, radio.
On Angelo's show.
Yeah,
Angelo.
Yeah.
So at least we had that going for us. Okay.
That's a good hour, though. That's a great time to be on, from like that 7 to 7:45.
Right.
A lot of people in their cars.
Right.
Okay. Well,
Have
the
you ever
breaking news is in effect, at least. Now we know we can all relax. Much better than my breaking news, I guess. Although
Well, yours is the round robin.
I'm going to run through that round robin.
I want to hear all 8 of the. It's 8 bets, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, well, we get the lines out for all 16 games.
Right.
Right? So everybody's out there from Thursday night through Monday night. You have every single line for the entire week 1. And we talked a little bit about this in the break. We're back now in Sports Map Radio as well, JAKIB Media and Philly Voice, about just how early this is to jump in on these lines. And look, I don't know what the hell's going to go on, but I jumped. I could lose a ton of value. I could gain.
That's tough though, man. How do you do that? Because guys get hurt in camp,
right?
And, leading up, that's pretty tough.
Do you have the Green Bay game in your round robin?
Nope. I stayed away from Green Bay and Denver.
Okay.
They help me
for obvious reasons.
Yes, for obvious reasons. You want to play 20 questions with the round robin? Did you stay away from Green Bay?
Round robins are one of the lazy sports radio topics in this draft.
Round robins itself, like he specifically labels round robins.
No,
you joking. Get Jay Marriott on the line right now.
Jay Marriott wasn't a part of this.
No, but he's the guy who continues to write on that site about the dangers of talking about sports betting on the radio and how sports betting and sports and how everybody's involved and wrapped up in each other. Look, if you've got people that are paid by a specific book telling you to bet, that's one thing. And the MLB Network having its own betting show is another thing. But just what we do, like if this show were sponsored by Philly Live or something like that, he's got a problem with stuff like that. So, of course, they're going to have a problem overall with sports betting. Are you sure there's nothing at the end of that in like small?
Does the NFL have their own sports betting network?
There are sports books in stadiums. There's about to be a huge Fox.
But you said MLB have their own what?
MLB. So Keith Irizarry, who's a great dude, hosts this betting show on the MLB Network, MLB TV show.
Oh yeah. And when does that air?
I don't know when it airs. I think it airs in the evenings. Maybe it airs like before the games, before they lock. So
I haven't seen it.
Sponsored by one of the books, DraftKings or FanDuel, something like that. But it's the league's owned television station that is sponsored by a book telling you who to bet on that same sport. So I could see how people look at that with like kind of a raised eyebrow, like, okay, well, the league is now hiring a book to tell you who to bet on that league. It's different if we have an individual, if we have it independent, where that just exists. And even books have every right to hire people and say, hey, provide us content.
Sure.
So that's not the problem I have. It's when, the leagues get in problem with it. But who the hell cares if you're talking about it on the radio?
Well, I was just saying, because do the NFL have the same thing? And especially, MLB, I'm thinking, well, why is Pete Rose still so, frowned upon of being a Hall of Famer if now they incorporate it into the league itself? I mean, you got to give a guy a pass now.
That's funny. Barrett brings up Pete Rose because that's the number 4 lazy sports radio topic. Does Pete Rose belong in the Hall of Fame?
Even now, especially now.
I can't believe people would still be doing that today.
Oh, yeah.
It's
that's every year.
To bring it up in context, like Barrett just did, which is trying to figure out how much baseball is in bed with betting.
Right. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah.
And it's another thing to be like, hey, this year's MLB Hall of Fame inductions.
Here's the class.
Here's the list. Why isn't it Pete Rose?
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay, you guys are doing that again, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Give me the last, like, what's the lowest one? And I assume the lowest seed is the one that's closest to the middle of acceptable, right? Like I assume that the number 1 on that list, or seed, if you will, in the draft is the most ridiculous, over the top, and that the one at the end is probably the most acceptable of that list. Is that fair?
They divide it up into rounds. Like the first round has 6 topics.
Okay, so what's the last topic on the last round?
On the last round.
Yeah.
All right, well, I got to scroll down here. Give me a
Curious
second.
about that. By the way, Vinny V on the mound tonight.
Oh, yeah? Vinny Velo?
That total is at 10.5.
All right. The last topic in the last round is trivia.
Oh, you ready for your general knowledge?
So who led the American League in on-base percentage in 1978 is the first question.
Wait a second. Who is asking people that?
I don't know.
Baseball trivia. Okay, we're going to give out a pair of passes to the restaurant that sponsors the show and make sure that you know about the Bruins and
the Blackhawks.
What the hell?
You're talking like a Chicago.
No, I know. I was going to say the the Yankees and the White Sox, but I mean, what the hell, man?
Yeah, trivia.
Are people still doing that?
I don't know.
I hear it all the time. I hear it at 6 o'clock in the evening. I heard it the other day at 6 o'clock in the evening.
I just went through these because I wanted to see if we do any of this stuff because we do market ourselves as a different type of sports show, right?
Right.
Correct.
Now we do locks. We talk a lot of gambling on this show because it's everywhere. It's pervasive now in the sports industry.
I mean, it's the moneymaker.
As much as it's a moneymaker and it's discussed, I think that there are different ways. We're not the only people that do this by any means, but we're not out here taking it seriously in the sense of taking ourselves like there's no scoreboard, there's no record, there's no imaging, there's no all right, here it is, the weekly locks, you know, like there's no presentation of it. It's just a natural part of the conversation.
Exactly.
And even then when I give out something that I'm playing, I'm not selling it. Right. There are people that don't even have sites. There are people that don't even have 900 numbers or links that want you to believe that they're experts because they take 90 seconds out of their 4-hour talk show to give up a couple of plays.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that. I think all three of us talk about it in just a conversational standpoint. So it doesn't, I think a lot of this stuff, what you'll find, and I'm guessing just based on what we've heard so far, is that there are departures from the talk show. It's like, all right, we're going to move away from just general sports talk, what we're talking about, stuff we do, to have these wacky, crazy things like, hey, tonight's lock of the week or something like that. Like, we don't separate that.
No, it's all, like you said, it's part of just the normal conversation of the show. You know, the back and forth. The second one is blaming players for holding out. Is viewed as a lazy sports radio topic. So I guess, come football camp time and, one of your wide receivers is in a contract dispute and the hosts come on and scream and yell about what a bum he is for holding out, that kind of thing.
I mean,
that's
real news though. That happens and you're going to talk about it, especially when it's a big name player.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Talk about that has to be talked about.
Right. First off, if there's anything newsy, as Barrett just said, that's NFL, it's going to be hard for me to say it's lazy. The NFL dominates everything.
12 months a year.
Yeah. So even if a guy gets cut and you're spending a day and a half on that, I kind of get it. Look, it's one thing if you're drumming up potential trade scenarios for Marcus Mariota every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that if there's news stuff, then, you kind of have to hit on it. We'll take a quick one here on the network, SportsMap Radio. We're live on the stream, JAKIB Media YouTube page, Philly Voice as well. We're back in 3 on SportsMap Radio. It's the middle. All right, we'll break at the top of the hour. Keep this thing moving here, but what else do you have in there? Give me some more. Give me some more of this.
All right. MJ versus LeBron.
Oh, that's a go-to on some radio shows here still in Philly.
Yeah. That's a very national, a lot of national shows will bring that up.
There's no question about
periodically.
That. Yeah.
Periodically, meaning
who's
like
the GOAT?
Every week.
Yeah. GOAT debates is another topic, Barrett.
Who's the GOAT?
Yep.
I love that. That's ridiculous. That's great. Both of these are being on here, publicly shaming.
All right, here's another one.
Do that. Thank goodness.
But here's another one. Now, I want to get your thoughts on this. Interviewing the opponent's beat writer. So like, the Eagles play the Falcons week 1. You get somebody on from Atlanta that covers the team. How is that bad? That's not lazy.
Right.
That's like you're trying to
doing your research.
You're trying to give information to your listenership, right? About the other team. What's so bad about that?
We did the same thing when we played Dallas. We had Dallas beat right here.
Well, Newey
Scruggs.
I mean, he covers them for he's Emmy award-winning TV sports personality. It's lazy radio to bring him on.
Right. I have to do stuff for the 49ers.
No.
Bears.
Here's where I'll meet them halfway, but I don't think they explicitly said this. If they did, Harry, then please just cut me off. But if you come out and make it a thing, like, again, something behind enemy lines with like music and stuff
I've
like
done
that.
I did that 15 years ago.
Right. That's like a newer thing when you're newer to stuff, right? When it's like, oh, we got to think of benchmarks.
Right.
They lie to you and think like if you don't have benchmarks, people won't listen to your show. It's like, no, they'll listen for content.
Appointment radio.
Yes, everything had to be appointment radio. That was another thing that I fought hard at NBC Sports Radio, which is no, we don't need every segment to be a benchmark. This is not the Colin Cowherd show. I promise you.
What do you mean by benchmark?
Meaning like fake news is a benchmark. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 12:25, people know that we're going to do fake news.
Right.
Overtime is a benchmark. Every day at 1:00, people know that it's a separate segment.
10 more minutes.
Yeah. It's essentially something that you can set your watch to.
And something that can be sponsored.
Yes.
Typically, too.
Yes.
So.
Right.
All right. What's your score prediction? Like on a Friday show, you give the score of the weekend's football game. That's viewed as a lazy act.
That's another thing. How is that lazy? That's
almost, I guess if you take up a good, chunk, like a 25-minute segment where you're hoping to get some phone calls and everybody's phone call gives the score, that's boring. I could see that if you're trying to kill a segment like that.
Oh man, so Schwartzman used to do this segment. You picked the score. Did he ever tell you about that?
No.
It was back at 9:20.
Oh, in Trenton?
Yeah, in Trenton.
Uh-huh.
And it was on a Friday, and they rarely had like the lines jammed.
Mm-hmm.
But every Friday for Eagles games, people could call up, and if they correctly predicted the score, they would win like $1,000. And if nobody won, it just kept rolling over and rolling over. So week 10, it could be, $10,000, right?
Yeah.
We're back here, and I'll explain the rest. So what happened was people would call in every single Friday, and it would be one of these like, make sure you have a sports point. Make sure you have and then it got
and then give your score before you hang up. Yeah.
But then it got to the point where they mismanaged every Friday. I told them, I said, look, man, you're going to have to stop getting people to talk about whatever the hell else just to justify the call and just have them jump in. Because what was happening is they would take like 10 calls and they would have these conversations. He and John Moses, good dudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Moses.
I know Moses.
Conversations. And next thing you know, they would only have 10 people and they'd be an hour into the segment. And you'd be like, all right, then we just need to plow. Schwartzman just plowing through it. And that's the last hour and a half was, all right, John, what's your score? All right, Rick, what's your score? All right, Matt, what's your score?
Okay, buddy, what's your score?
Yeah, exactly. It got to be a little too much.
You talk about a lazy segment that I used to do with Schwartzman was the Schwartz 7. Do you remember that, Eytan?
No.
Where he would give his top 10. Typically, it would be like my top 10, whatever. Okay. But the whole thing was built around Schwartz is so lazy that he can't even give you 10. So I made it the Schwartz 7, and that was part of the sound that went with it, the intro. But Schwartz is too lazy, and it was hilarious. A total rip on him, and he loved it. And the program director hated it. He hated it.
Why?
Because he knew he was going to get rid of Schwartzman in like 2 or 3 months from that day part, and he didn't want me making a big thing out of him.
Makes sense.
But it was great.
I'd say that's a great segment.
Yeah.
I don't think that, it's lazy in the sense that benchmarks I don't think are lazy just by nature, though.
Not all of them.
No, not all of them.
No.
Man, I had one that we did at NBC Sports, and it was so bad and so lazy. They called it like your football fix. And it was like every night at the same time, no matter what was happening, we got your football fix. We're back at the top. It's the middle.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network.
The philosophy that guides my work as an attorney is, number one, that we are in place of a position of trust. And that trust provides a certain obligation upon us that we must fulfill for each and every client. That a client just simply isn't another number. While we may have many cases here, the client only has one. And they deserve the utmost attention, information, and a full and candid relay of the aspects of their litigation, and for us to be available for questions. We understand that the questions involved in litigation go beyond the case. The clients often have many challenges that they have to face as a result of the incident that led them to us, and we must first and foremost appreciate that and make sure that we're there to help throughout not only the case but also throughout the client's life.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
A 610.
Eytan, there's another invitation that has been extended.
Oh no, is that right?
Yeah, you haven't seen this because
Let's go tell Pat Riley. Hey Pat, no Ewing tonight.
Oh, wait a second. Asman sent me this, and I thought this was something new.
Oh.
16 freaking years.
Oh, that's the San Francisco Giants thing.
Hey, you think Havlicek's taking a night off?
Oh no, it's not.
That's new, right?
No, I thought that was I thought that might have been that San Francisco Giants rant, but it obviously wasn't.
The same one.
Gabe, you think Havlicek's taking a night off? Havlicek! Twice the player that any of these guys are. Don't get Havlicek once. Oh, it makes me sick. And you guys rip Kuzi. You know how many games Kuzi played? You know, he taking trains to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and run into the ball game because the train is late and they played the night before in Boston. Hell freaking Nash and his freaking owner who's paying him $40 million.
Oh, it's the same one.
It's the same one.
Geez,
I hate to do it to Jake.
Seriously, I thought this was new.
My God.
Just wasted 90 seconds of our time.
That's never wasted. You know, you never waste with that, bro. That's still gold.
No, but he didn't realize that we've played that like 100 times already.
I don't think so, which is troubling for a man who claims to be in on this show.
Yeah.
How good John Havlicek was? All right. So what else do you got?
Well, McMullen says
something.
Eytan, you want to do 9:20 on Wednesday, and you haven't answered.
Well, I'm trying to download what you sent me.
Download what I sent you. What are you talking about?
You sent me 2 texts, and it says no subject downloading. It's like you sent me. Did you send me pictures or links?
No.
That's a part of the group chat, I think.
No, it's just from Harry.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't sent you anything just to you in a while.
Look, this is what I'm getting from McMullen. See that?
No, it's blurry. We can't see it.
That's because of my camera. You probably see it better this way. I don't know. That's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, isn't it? I can't get anybody's text. You and McMullen are sending me these no subject, downloading.
That's got to be a you problem.
No, I'm getting text from my wife. I'm getting text from Xander Krause. I'm getting text from
when you have a group message.
No, it's
but it goes to individual. That's what happens. They split off, and they'll have to download in each place.
Wow.
It's a Gal Media property in
It's
partnership.
that non-iPhone you got there.
Yeah. Now go back and put it on group messages now.
What was it?
Put it back on group messages now.
It is on group.
Yeah.
On the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, the final hour for us here. Sixers get embarrassed last night. You have a baseball game tonight. I wonder if Harry or I wonder who's watching more baseball tonight, Harry or Barrett. Phillies have a
I'm out on it.
Blah matchup tonight.
Yeah.
I'm out on the baseball.
You're out on baseball?
No, tonight I am.
Oh.
Why? What do you got going on instead?
Nothing. I don't want to watch it.
Well, how did the boss lady do with the knee situation?
Oh, everything went great.
Yeah.
Until that what do you call it? That shot wore off where that really numbs you up.
Yeah.
In your spine. She got an epidural.
Epidural, yeah.
Well, when that epidural was
that rough?
Bruh.
The pain set in.
Oh man. And I explained to her. I said, look, I hate to do it to you. I broke it down here. I hate to do it to you, but this knee, man, they took half your knee out. So when it does have full pain, because she was like prancing around at first, saying, oh, my knee feels great. I'm walking out. My knee. I said,
you're like, give it some time.
Slow down now. Said, calmate. Go a little suave. Chill out for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So she's walking around doing her thing. Boy, it hit about 11 o'clock. Oh, man. It was like the sky was falling.
Well, now, was she walking around unaided? In other words,
she was walking around aided. She was working on aided. She has the walker.
Okay.
She was using the walker.
That's what I thought.
Felt really good.
Yeah, she felt, because it means, at that point, all the medicine and the juices were flowing. She was feeling good about everything, walking straight up. Man, that hit her, boy. Woo!
Oh, man.
So what do you think after that?
Then what do you do?
Seriously.
Percocets.
Percocets. Popping, man.
Oh.
Volume. What I thought we were gonna have to call the local dope man.
Wow.
Well, it's all. Isn't it legal there?
You need a guy. Eytan's got a guy.
Isn't it legal in Jersey, or is it not legal in Jersey? Do you not have dispensaries in Jersey?
No, I was just saying, man. I was like, something. She was crying there. I was like, look, I'm telling you right now, and I explained the pain to her.
Yeah.
Like around 8 o'clock, her aunt was over.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of her cousins were over. I said, look, when everything settles down and all the pain medicine is gone, this is going to be like a constant throbbing pain that radiates, and it just like feels like your knee is like.
Yeah. Did you have an ant problem? Was your aunt walking around saying, "Nice house. Hope you can keep it clean"? Barrett, did you get my text message? I'll check.
Yeah, right.
I love that commercial.
I would say, did you get my Facebook invite?
Facebook invite. That's what it is. Not text message. I'm sorry, I screwed it up.
Expired.
Why do I think of Barrett every time I see those commercials? I think of Barrett in front of his television set doing what he's doing right now, just laughing his rear end off.
Man,
sitting there, right? Yeah.
Some of those commercials, man. Expired.
Could you imagine that? Somebody going through your refrigerator and looking at all the dates. Like, get out of my house.
Right.
Go.
It's an awful big house. Look at this. You keep this clean?
Hope you can keep it clean.
Oh, that's also a classic. Oh, wait. I'm going to have a big lunch with...
I haven't seen that one in a while.
Me neither, man. Yeah. I love it, man.
Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to find out, and I don't know, I guess we're in break, from Ron, is that I don't hear the new promos that he made. I keep hearing the one about Eytan bitching about chocolate.
Right. and about apple pie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that one. We had some all-timers here, man.
I know. He's made some of these great promos, but I don't hear them.
Well, I mean, is it Xander that has to do that? I think Xander has to do that, doesn't he?
Well, not on the network. Not on Sports Map.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you're out on the Phillies this weekend, taking on Toronto.
Yeah, man.
Toronto's decent.
It's not necessarily that, man. I think I'm just out on them.
I can't. I just can't wait for the playoffs in hockey and basketball to start. Hockey's starting.
They start next week, right?
No, I think this weekend, doesn't it? Doesn't it start this weekend? Or no. I guess the Canada teams still aren't done with their regular season.
Right.
But the matchups for the East are in already.
Yeah, the breaks that I have are from Xander, not from Ron.
Oh, they are? Yeah, but the one on Sports Map, though, that keeps airing that promo about...
Yeah, they start tomorrow. About the apple pie.
I mean, are you hearing it when you're listening to the network?
No, just the show.
Yeah, I play the stuff that Xander gives us.
Oh.
Need to update him. That's
live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts studio.
Oh, so it is Xander.
Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right. Anything, I kind of want to go back to this because I think so far, so good. We have successfully avoided anything except sports betting on this list of death, right?
Pretty much. I mean, we've had beat writers on or people that cover the team in advance of a game. So we've violated that one.
Well, that I don't understand. Is there any reasoning? Like, is there a slug or a sentence underneath it that explains why?
Yeah, hold on a second. I'll get it.
This Jay Marriott guy needs to just go back to the rock.
It's not him. He's not a part of this. Yeah, let me get you the beat writer.
The beat writer beef?
Yeah, the beat writer beef.
God forbid you inform your audience. You know, the problem with this on the premise is that we get so caught up in our own bubble and comfort zone, and then being told by people that we trust in that bubble what life is like outside of the bubble, right? Like, how many people you know have never left the area that they've lived, general area, and instead of following other people that live outside of the area for news in the area that they live in, they instead go to the trusted people inside the bubble, whoever it may be, local news or local celebrities, whatever it may be, to tell them about Russia or wherever else it may be.
Rather than going to Russia.
Or to a lesser extent, Florida or Texas or California or New York.
No, I understood what you mean.
So this is problematic in its own right because it goes back to the whole thing that Barrett mentioned about news. Like, why wouldn't you want to have somebody who covers another team on to talk about that team as opposed to just the preconceived stereotypical notions that you have of the team already?
Right. This guy that wrote this was Tyler McComas. He says, I find that most beat writers aren't very entertaining on the radio. That's not meant to be a dig. Their job is to be a great writer, not a great radio guest. Most of these interviews. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, Harry. He's talking about writer specific. I wanted to make sure we got that.
Yeah. Yes.
So Louie's in the good here. Louie is a radio TV person.
He's a TV guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If his whole beef is don't bring on boring people, that's fine. We don't bring on boring people.
Most of these interviews usually consist of info the hosts and fans already know. I'm not saying you shouldn't interview someone from the other team, but try to be more unique than depending on the guy from the local paper.
Well, then that gets in us, when we have our boy on, when we have McMullen on, we have McMullen Mafia. I mean, he's a beat writer. He writes about Eagles football, but he also gives us quality stuff.
But he's not boring.
Right.
Oh, not
he's
at all.
Not boring.
Even in his
I like talking to McMullen about non-football stuff too.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, I'm so confident. I'll put it to the stream. I don't think we've had one guest on since the show began that would be considered boring. And look, we don't go heavy. This is not like guest heavy. We don't bring on the Drew Brees big names just to sell the show. But I don't think that we've had anybody that we've all collectively thought, man, that person, they can't come back.
Right.
Like they don't get the show. Everybody who jumps in, even if it's 50 seconds before we're back and they jump into the chaos of the breaks, they understand right away that this is a little different. Like, I don't know. And look, I'm confident in the sense that I'll still have that conversation if I'm wrong, but I think we also recognize that we're not putting on people who can't do radio, TV, like who can't talk.
Like I loved Emery Hunt the other last week. He was great.
Yes.
I liked Sean Green yesterday.
Yes. I mean, these guys are entertained. And here's another thing, too. If we did get a boring beat writer on, this is what they would do. And I've done this before because Barrett, believe it or not, is not the first former player that I've had the good fortune to work with. But if they're caught or if they're just, boring or if they don't talk, they'll always throw it back. And Barrett can relate to this. And Barrett, you tell me what you think. And Barrett, we've got this issue here. I'm sure they turn into, because that's what they do. They ask questions. So they usually, if they're dull, they'll usually flip it back, especially if we had Barrett here. So even then, I'm confident that if we brought on a boring beat writer from another city, that the interview wouldn't die.
Right.
And then
plus, we do a lot of stuff. Yeah, we go to the stream, like they keep asking about rookie camp. Yeah, rookie camp starts today. Starts at 1:45. We get to go there for warm-ups, stretching, and then we got to leave.
Then you got to leave.
Start. Yeah. So that really pisses me off that I can't go in and watch. I mean,
you don't really get much out of it if you go.
I don't want to see him stretch.
Right. Yeah,
I don't want to see.
I love stretching. I realize its value, but I don't want to watch him do it and then have to be escorted out because I can't watch him practice.
It doesn't make sense to me because then I can't watch any route running. I can't diagnose what type of offense they're going to run. What are they looking at? Who? The only thing I'll get out of this is who's all there. Right. I'll see who's not injured. I'll see what big name players came back as far as veterans. I'll see stuff like that, because I know Hurts is going to be there. He's a young guy, still a rookie for at least for the first 4 games. I want to see if Malott is back. I want to see if Dillard is there. I want to see how healthy, if Lane does come, is he going to be there? Brooksy. I mean, I want to see who's going to be there.
Does Ertz show up when he's supposed to show up?
Right.
Yeah.
He might be there today.
Right.
I want to see that. I want to see if McLeod, if he's out there running, coming off a major injury, is he out there running? There's a lot of stuff that I need to see, put an eye on. Does BG come back?
Carlos on the stream says, bring Brian Westbrook on. I've reached out to B West several times.
Right.
And have not gotten a response back, which I find kind of strange because he normally would be very responsive.
Yeah, he's tough to track down.
He's
very busy. He's got kids all over.
Oh, I know. He's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
He really has a horse.
He's got the horse farm down in Maryland. He's got the place in New York.
If we don't hear from B West, and look, I used to do a show with a guy as far as the stream show, and he just has a lot going on. So if we didn't hear back from him for a couple of days, it just kind of chalk it up to life, especially with little ones running around. So He gets a little bit of a pass in that sense where he's not doing it on purpose.
Oh yeah, I'm not ripping him. I just wanted to let Carlos and everybody know that we've tried several times to get him on.
Yeah, we can reach out to Brian again. That's fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's fine.
Even getting Seth, that guy's never in one place.
No, man, he's always somewhere.
Never. He's always doing something.
Exploit says, I don't always like your content, but your guests aren't boring.
No, and we're not going to allow people to be boring.
Right. We'll find a way.
We won't. Like the show won't really allow it. And if somebody's dragging or we realize that it's not, and again, we haven't even had that. I think some of it is just selection.
Mm-hmm.
Look, when you get boring and you get counter radio guests, a lot of it is just because you're booking in mass, because it's like, we got to have somebody on, it's like, let's get somebody on to talk about blank. And you're now just justifying a guest as opposed to actually bringing somebody on that matters. And that's where I think we are. Like, we have good discernment. I think we don't just bring people on to bring people on. Sometimes we do because they're friends of the show. Like, John, Jake, whoever you have it, Jeff Parles, right? Like, that's people are brought on and then conversations have, but we're not randomly going to bring somebody on for this Phillies game tonight who covers the Toronto Blue Jays just to force that down people's throat.
Gotcha.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, and a request for Baldy to come on. We could easily get Baldy, but we can't because he can't do it because he's contractually obligated to another entity.
Yeah,
So.
and that's a problem also.
It
a lot
is.
of these people, Westbrook will do it for us, but I mean, he really has to clear it through certain, entities before.
There's a lot of hoops you got to jump through.
Right.
Depending on where these guys work. Like, I even tried to get Keith Pompey on once, and he had to run it up, the chain. And by the time all that would happen, the show was already over.
Right.
Like, it was
on this show.
Yeah.
I wonder if the Inquirer looks at Philly Voice as a competitor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably.
That's become a major problem, guys. I'm just letting you guys know that. Right now, we're competing with a lot of people simply because we're starting to get a lot more popular than people thought we were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just some slapjacks out here just throwing stuff on. This is actually.
People may argue that.
Yeah,
not flapjacks.
No.
I was going to say something else, but I
know. Yeah. Oh. Adam's Exploit says, I like the Chipotle guy. He's talking about Jake Asman.
Yeah.
He's right now running from a tiger. He's running from a tiger right now.
That's great.
Dude, that tiger could eat Asman and he'd be like, all right, what's next? Like, I want more.
Yeah, wouldn't even
He'd be picking his teeth with his bones.
It's like one of those Andes mints.
Right.
Yes. You can never just have one, right? We need a bunch.
Oh.
If you printed out these directions to get here, you're in the right place.
But so what are the top six? Just run through the top six, because I don't think outside of that one NFL thing, I don't think we've done anything here. Right.
All right, here's another one. Hot takes.
Top ones.
A hot take is seen as a tactic to get attention, but it's more than that. It's also a lazy way to generate content.
Right. So is this guy just been listening to caller-driven radio in Philadelphia for the past 15 years and said, all right, this is what the column is based on?
No, I'm sure they sampled a lot of different radios. Open phones is another one.
Oh, boy. Here's another thing. Who's doing that? Like, seriously, if you take calls, who is so desperate and so out of ideas that you have to just open it up? Oh, we'll just open it up. Whatever you want to talk about tonight.
Well, it's like
a lonely individual, man.
How many times have you heard the host say this? Whatever's on your mind, dial us up and we'll talk about it.
I'd like to fight that ideology. Like, I wish you could physically punch somebody's ideology, because you get in trouble if you punch the person.
Yeah.
You could fight their ideas. I would fight their ideas.
All right, here's another one. Do you want Trent Dilfer's career or Dan Marino's career? Now, that's not specific, but I think what they're going for is like the versus argument. In other words, this versus this.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather break out. If that's the case, then I'd rather break out one of these things. You know, one of these, one of these old well, let me see Jay Mariotti have a problem with that. All right. Which scenario would you find most unbearable? Working outside while wearing a mascot costume on a scorching summer day, or being stuck outside in a snowstorm while wearing nothing but your underwear?
Well, you know what, man? Like, we would take that and we go in a whole different direction. Because our first thing I'd say is, well, man, if you're a mascot, hot summer day, those things stink, man.
Yeah,
We wouldn't
I would
go
never want that.
They stink to all. I mean, that's the worst smelling suit you can wear.
Like the Fanatics outfit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could be sitting there, and, you know, I did some shows with him, and sitting next to him was like sitting to a tall, hot glass of just putrid smell. It smells horrible. I don't even know how many times they wash those things.
Probably never.
That's what I'm saying. So we'll get into that direction instead of get into really what, you know, the basis of what you were trying to ask.
Well, no, that is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Which would you rather do?
I'd rather sit inside with hardly anything on in the freezing cold.
Inside? No, you're outside either way.
Oh, you're outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not doing either.
You're outside.
Well, then I got to take the mascot thing because I'd rather be hot than cold.
Well, I wouldn't do any of them.
No,
in fact,
well, you got to.
I put my time in.
No, you can't opt out.
I put my time in. I was out there in the freezing cold with no sleeves on, in Green Bay, mind you. So cold that, you know, it was so cold out there playing sometimes, man. Sometimes when you got out there and you played a little bit and you sweat, the sweat would actually freeze
on your
body. Yeah, you could see it. Freezing drops on your body. That's how cold it was. Guys were getting so close to the they look like big engines, but they're heaters. That they were burning their shoes up, their socks up. That's how close they were to the heaters.
Yeah.
Trying to get some warmth, man. Burning their gear up. They have to go in and get
I burned my rear end on one of those heaters once. Yeah.
Easy to do.
At a Temple, you know, doing the Temple games.
Right.
Like we were, you know, you're right there, like, let's say the 35-yard line, and the play came to out of bounds there. So everybody's, you know, backing up to get out of the way. And I nearly backed into the heater.
Wow.
Oh man, is that hot?
Wow.
I'll tell you what. Talk about a hot foot, man. You're a hot rear end.
Man,
all right, here's another one.
Yeah, we got a break. So real quick, we'll break and then we'll get to that. It's the middle, JAKIB Media, YouTube, Philly Voice, Sports Map Radio. Hold on one sec.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network.
The philosophy that guides my work as an attorney is, number one, that we are in place of a position of trust. And that trust provides a certain obligation upon us that we must fulfill for each and every client. That a client just simply isn't another number. While we may have many cases here, the client only has one. And they deserve the utmost attention, information, and a full and candid relay of the aspects of their litigation, and for us to be available for questions. We understand that the questions involved in litigation go beyond the case. The clients often have many challenges that they have to face as a result of the incident that led them to us, and we must first and foremost appreciate that and make sure that we're there to help throughout not only the case but also throughout the client's life.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap. Go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
You had some more news coming out, Barry?
More news?
More breaking news?
No, it's not breaking news, except that you've been invited on to Birds 365 and you have yet to accept or decline.
Well, that's the thing. I haven't seen it. It hasn't come in yet.
Well, how do I have it? We're on a group text.
I don't
There's
get
something wrong with your phone.
I explained to him what was going on.
Yeah.
On
It's
these
an Android
Androids.
issue. Yeah.
If you go to your messages and you're in a group message, you have to go on there and then you look up at the top of it and it says individual and it says group. Well, right now yours is an individual in that group. You have to hit grouped and it'll convert back up, and then when you hit download, it'll put them back in place.
How about that? He walked you right through that, Eytan.
It doesn't add up because
His phone is different. You got to understand, Barrett. He's got a different
but I still
Android.
have the group text, and it's coming. There is no option to go.
It does say, it says group and then it says individual, right?
Yeah, I hate to do it with these Bobo phones, man. Sorry.
You put this down, bro.
You kidding me? This phone is night and day better than any iPhone I've ever owned. It's not even close. And here's the beauty of it. If I don't get the message, like, that's not a problem for me. If somebody can't text me, who cares? Okay, great. That means you can't get to me. Meanwhile, I see the group text. Look, I'm going to say check, 1 2 1 2. All right.
Microphone check.
Yeah, just to check this thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not on that group.
I might even hit one Yeti. You never know.
All right.
That just went through. That's all I'm saying.
Here's another one on this list of lazy sports radio topics.
How many more are there on this damn thing? Because I got to get through this parlay here for you.
There's 2 more.
Okay. Jeez.
Best sports movies. In other words, I take that
That's
as list radio.
Yeah.
Let's make a list.
Now, mind you, the irony on all of this is that we are being lazy and going through a list.
Yeah,
even though it's a list of lazy radio. I mean,
right. But it's
I
a
knew there was
list.
something that felt a little off about this.
But it's a list pertinent to our business.
Correct. I understand. It's something it's stuff we don't do. Okay, so that's definitely stuff we would never do.
All right, here's the final
Brutal.
one. The
Brutal.
final one.
Like, people who do that.
Give us your favorite sports memory with your dad.
Okay, that's just above best sports moms or moms in a movie.
Right. TV moms.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Just below hot TV moms. Right. Right there. Oh, jeez. I got to be honest. I feel pretty good about our show. We don't do any of that stuff. Now, if anybody who books Barrett could just mention us, that would be another thing. But other than that, I think we're in good shape.
We're an hour and 33 minutes in, Barrett, and he hasn't forgotten it.
No. Well, that's what
I knew it was going to be that day, man.
You call.
Did you see my responses?
I mean, the best comedians can go on and on and on and bring you right back.
Right.
You even know it. All right.
No, but the reason we don't have to do this stuff is because we're not caller driven. Like I understand having to resort to things like this because on certain days when there's not something really going on, and that kind of is a lot, you got to resort to these gimmicks.
You got to give them a win, give them a loss.
Yeah.
Come on,
Whatever.
we can't be doing this stuff.
No.
You can't be justifying it, Harry.
I'm just saying.
You try, but no. We just
Don't you just feel bad? Like, don't you just feel dirty at the end of some of these shows? Not all
I
shows,
felt
but-
very dirty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I took many an afternoon shower when I got home.
You had
Trust
to.
me. Yeah.
Because you just knew like you were doing something wrong.
Guys, can we get it back to football, please? Get it back to Eagles, please.
If you're not talking Eagles, you have to ask yourself why. I love that. I can't get enough.
I
don't want to hear about this round robin parlay you got.
I am so out on these things. And here's the thing. Why not call people out? Like, this is what I hate about people who faux cover the industry is they just give these broad, wide reports or articles or what they don't like in radio. Who is this guy? A producer somewhere?
No, it's my former boss, Jason Barrett's website, and he's got several guys. He's got several guys writing for him.
I'm saying the guy who wrote this, I guarantee you, is a current producer. Like, he's somebody who works in radio that will write one of these broad things about what you don't do without ever pointing out specifically who does it, because God forbid you hold people accountable for doing exactly what you're telling people not to do. Like, look, you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is the only area in our world in which people don't call others out. Can you imagine talking about a team that loses and not talking about their players and not talking about their coach and not talking about their GM?
Getting specific.
In such generalities about, well, you know, that team was really bad, Barrett. That's why they lost the football game. I would be looking at you like, what the hell are you talking about? You brought me on here to talk about generalities.
The quarterback threw 4 interceptions.
Exactly right. I don't get it. These things, man.
There's always the producers, man. It's always producers, man. Like, speaking of producers,
actually like 5 or 6 different guys that all collaborated.
Yeah, and they all work in this business, and they all won't mention exactly what and who the violators are. Name names.
Well, I think we've all been guilty of this stuff in the past.
Yeah, but there are stations that do it religiously, like every single day. All you need to do is flip the dial.
Like JJ, John Jansen. Can you believe that? Come on, man. Now he's trolling me, man.
Well, John, I told John to come on the show today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Harry's the only guy who he doesn't know, and now John is.
I know John Jansen.
Oh, you do?
JJ, come on, man. I'll call you back, bro. Don't do that to me, man.
Hold on.
He's in the stream right now.
I'm going to send John the invite. I thought I did earlier, but that's my fault. Did I send it to you? Did I send it?
Did I send it?
Did I send it there to you?
I still haven't gotten that text that you allegedly sent out to the group. There's something wrong with your phone.
Tell Jansen I just sent him that text. Is Jansen physically in our
He's
chat?
he's in our chat.
Okay, good. I just sent it to you and McMullen. Check. 1 2 1 2.
I have
1 2 1 2.
I'm not even in that.
Break it down. 1 2 1 2. Break it down. We'll get in trouble for playing that song.
We're on break, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank God.
Why, would it matter if not? The same amount of people are watching. I don't know how many more people would be listening.
Oh.
Eytan versus technology, isn't it?
Yeah.
All-time epic battle.
All-time epic battle. That's Jansen.
Yeah.
Yeah, JJ, you're right, bro.
I don't need to. All that's not working, everything else is working for me. The only thing that's not working are texts specific to McMullen and Harry. I don't have a problem here. You guys are acting like there's an issue.
Did McMullen block you on his phone?
Know. But if
now that might be it.
That would be breaking news.
Issues with my phone or that Mays and McMullen can't text me. I hate to do it to you, Harry, but I'm
well, I'm going to copy McMullen's invitation and I'm going to send it to you again on the group text and see if you get it. There, I just sent it. You can see.
I got to hit.
People can't read it.
I want to.
And he didn't get it.
Did you get it?
No. I got 4 shows today, and my voice is already gone.
Oh, my God.
I did
4.
What are you going to talk about? Brown Robin's the whole time, aren't you?
No, I did. I've got the iHeart show tonight from 6 to 8. I've got this show 11 to 1. I've got the Awesome show from 3 to 4.
Oh,
and
my
then I have
God.
Props and Locks a record at 6. So
I don't think I could do your life for 1 week.
No,
Fridays
there's
are
no
busy,
way.
man. Fridays are busy. Thursdays and Fridays are busy.
There's no way I would do it.
No
What throws
way.
me off is if I have like an early. I didn't have TV this morning, but if I had like a 5:45 hit in the morning, that crushes me.
Oh,
I
Crushes.
thought I saw you this morning.
No, not today. You didn't. Yesterday.
No, I saw you yesterday. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, Wednesday I was on at 8 during the schedule release. That's where Jarek cut me off. The guy
Right.
he said Jarek cut me off, and then I sent Jansen the invite.
The middle on the
Unless it went to John Johnson.
By Rocket Mortgage.
That's probably where it went.
O'Reilly Auto
Wait a
Parts
second.
Studios.
Did it?
Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
So we're waiting to see if JJ can come on here. John Jansen. And it's hilarious because I just made sure I did send it to him. Now he works at iHeartRadio here in Philadelphia, where the three of us also work in different capacities. Barrett on a sports betting show of all things, Beating Your Bookie. Harry on Swing It and Ding It also appears throughout the week on Sean's show. And then me, and as I host the 6 to 8 show Monday through Friday in the evening. But John is the host after me, but he also does a bunch in sports betting, and he actually has a newer gig that he just joined a site, and he's working with Mike North.
Oh, yeah. Love
Yes.
Mike North.
It's really
Out
cool.
in Chicago.
So
Yeah.
every time I have to make sure, and I've got great with this. You have to give me credit because one of the people that I actually go back farther, right? Or further, technically, right? With this guy, not Jansen, than I do with Harry. And I go back with Harry for a while. Even Barrett, I go back with both of these guys for a while. But John Johnson,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
at WIP, I used to work with him way, way back in the day, back when they were still in Bala.
Where?
And at IP.
Oh,
back
okay.
when IP was still AM. Like back when they were in Bala Kinwood.
To Bala
still an
Plaza.
AM station. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I know John for a while. So the point of it is that when I see JJ and I see John Jansen, my brain first was going to John Johnson. I have never made that mistake once on the air, either with Jansen or with Johnson, who has been a guest of mine on the network shows that I do outside of this one. So how about, I think I deserve a little credit for that. Those are easy names to mess up, especially if you're introducing somebody.
To conflate.
Yes.
Well, I just sent it to him also.
Well, I don't know what he's doing. If he's going to be on the stream just to bust your stones, but he won't come on the show.
John Jansen says on the stream that you sent him the link to yesterday's show, not today's. So it's a bad link.
Well, what about you, Barrett?
I just sent one to him just now, though.
Oh, you're right. I did send him yesterday's. Sorry.
I'm telling you, something is up with your equipment.
No, it's not my equipment. It's just I didn't normally what it is I have the stream open on my laptop. And I just today I have like 4 other things I'm doing.
There he is.
So
Who sent you the right one?
I'm building my Awesome script.
You sent me yesterday's show. What are you
Well,
doing?
Because I'm building this script for my Awesome show that's going to launch in about 2.5 hours.
Oh, you're working on your 30th other job that
Yes.
you have?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
you know.
That's what he does, John. You know, he uses this show as a way to get material for the next show.
Well, I see. The thing is with this show, I have a complaint about this show now because ever since Barrett started working on this show, and now he's seeing all this success on the middle, he doesn't answer back my texts anymore.
Yeah.
He's too good of a radio host now to answer me back.
So you're big time in John Jansen.
He's absolutely
That's not
big
the
time.
case.
in me.
I
And here's the
texted him.
irony, though, Barrett, real quick. The irony is that Jansen is one of the few people who we know and trust would actually say the middle with Barrett
With
Brooks,
our
Harry
name.
Mays, and Eytan Shander.
Yeah.
Bro,
See,
no.
Gary answered me back when I was just a college lad and I didn't even have any success. He answered me back and I interviewed him. You guys, I mean, I can't get a hold of either of you.
Me?
Eytan sends me the wrong links and can never get his
five
outreach
nights a
connected.
week.
You see what
Barrett
I
doesn't answer me back.
you see what I do for the people?
Yeah,
Well,
thank
hold on
you,
a second.
Barry.
I think this is being misrepresented, and I think this is an easy way that the public will agree. Is it's not that I am not returning your calls or anything like that.
You just don't know
work
how
with
to.
me so much during the week that it's probably like you probably have me blocked out. Outside of the 2 hours that you have to deal with, I would be shocked if you even tried to reach me, and the public would agree with that. So Barrett is the one big timing.
No,
Barrett absolutely is big time.
Hold on. Now, what did I do yesterday, guys? I couldn't even do overtime. Why? Why couldn't I do overtime yesterday?
You had to take your wife.
Well, you had to go to the hospital.
It was some
JJ did
convenient
not believe
excuse.
me.
There's some convenient excuse.
His wife had knee surgery yesterday.
Right, she had a total.
That was legit.
Oh, that was actually legit. I'm
That
sorry.
was
It
legit.
just comes up with so many of them. I don't know which ones are real or not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all.
Ridiculous.
Oh
Now,
man.
well, that's the thing is, I just don't even know. Based off of if it's Barrett, and I guess Harry's in the clear because he did one interview for you, like what, 5 years ago?
Was it? It might have been long because I was in college. That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But then I've also been on with you when you filled in for Brace during one of his many vacation days.
Yes. He takes a vacation day every single week.
And good for him. I mean, he takes a lot of vacation.
Yeah, but the thing is, then I have to fill in for him. Well, I have to fill in for him.
Right.
Then it makes me work. I don't like his vacations. His vacations to me are double the workload.
Exactly.
Well, guys, I hate to do it to you.
Oh, Barrett's got to leave.
No, Friday. I mean, on Monday. This Monday. There's an NFL alumni golf event.
Oh my God, Eytan, do you hear this?
I'm serious.
Where is it?
Running Deer.
Why aren't we invited so we could do the show and get guests on the show?
I tried to get you guys to do that last time. You guys didn't want to do it.
You gave us a day notice.
We had a day. Yes,
you could have gotten great guests on, and now you're stuck with me. Come on, Barrett. You got to do better than that. If I'm coming on the show, that means the show's not doing well today.
Well, fair, but at least you're doing stuff and you're working in this business.
Was hoping there'd be a little support, a little, somebody to pick me up when I was.
Is there way? Would you want to do it though? Do you want to do it?
Of
yes.
course.
What time?
11 to 1.
11 to 1. We can do 11 to 1.
What time does everything start and all there? So
the shotgun starts at 12.
Okay, yes, perfect. So we'll get there. We can set up. We can do the show, and on top of that, maybe we can talk to a couple of people before they tee off at noon.
I love this discussion that's happening on the show right now.
Yeah, this is
it's
because
Barrett
doesn't let us know his schedule until like the day
The only
before.
time you can reach him is when he's actually on the show and working. Right.
Exactly.
So you got to do it. Make sure within those 2 hours.
AJ, I can't believe you're doing this, man. This is a guy that likes pumpkin lattes. You don't listen to him, man. He drinks pumpkin lattes. He's
Wait
not
a
even allowed
second.
to talk.
They're PSLs, Barrett. Come on. We call them PSLs now.
Pumpkin spice
PSL,
lattes, PSLs.
Yes, that's fantastic.
No, seriously. All right, I'm gonna hook
up.
it up then. There it is. Then I'll have everything for you by tonight.
Great.
Everything by tonight.
Anybody we should know that's going to be there?
Everybody that's more than likely everybody that's going to be an alumni. Jaws, everybody. You name it. Yep. Trot.
B West.
Yep. A couple guys that played other teams also.
What about Baldy? Is he going to be there?
Baldy comes, but he doesn't really play golf.
What about Vince Papali?
He'll be there for sure.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Yeah, he'll definitely hang with us. I can promise you that.
Who else is going to be there?
What about Mike Quick?
Quick will be there.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is legit. Just make
it's legit. Yeah.
This is what we do.
What were you thinking? It wasn't legit. Like Barrett was leading you in a wrong direction,
bro.
Yep.
Barrett's figuring out that nobody trusts him at this point.
Yes,
and I don't understand it, man. Like I said, look, I'm gonna get Ray on for you guys. They really like, yeah, all right, yeah, and Harry, yeah, I hate to do it to you, but Ray's not coming on this show. And he shows and pops on, and while he's talking, I'm texting him. I told you guys I was gonna get him on. Give me my hype now. They did not. I mean, they didn't want to give me any props or anything. And then a few minutes later, I had Seth Joyner on in a week. They didn't want to give me any props. No, we're not going to shake your hand. We're not going to give you any praise for this. You should have been doing this. That's what they gave me. You should have been doing this.
It's tough love, Barrett.
We're treating you like the NFL player you are. Right?
That's right.
Block. What do you want?
Yeah.
You know? What do you want?
That's what you get being the star of the show, Barry. You get treatment both ways. You get treated like a star, but also they expect you to be a star.
Who gets treated like a star? I don't get Treehouse Scouts. All they do is try to cut me off and go to commercials all the time. That's what they want to do.
What
to me.
was Rodney Pete in the huddle on the next play saying, "Hey Barrett, thanks for blocking that end, man. Really appreciate it."
No, but he did turn around one time. It was Charles Haley, and I just totally whiffed on him. And I turned around and I grabbed him. It was a full bear hug.
A tackle.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I tackled him, dog. And Rodney P looked at me. You know, he's like, you see flags. The flags were hitting me. That's how many flags. All three flags hit me. You know, I was like, dude. So I turned around and looked at Rodney. We got to the huddle. Rodney turned around and said, "Hey, Brooks, I appreciate that."
Thanks.
That's amazing.
Because he was freezing. I was ready to ball up, man. But you tackle him, dog. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Hey, John, real quick, we mentioned your newer gig here. You're working with Mike North, right?
Yes, I'm doing a show with Mike North on.
Love Mike North.
Yeah, he's great. He mentions you when he hears I'm from Philly. He mentions you all the time.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Him and the Philly Godfather.
Oh yeah, PGF and him.
Wait, Mike North references Harry all the time?
Yeah, because obviously he knows I'm from Philly, so a lot of Philly references, and when that happens, he mentions the couple people that he knows from Philly. He just knows Harry. I'm sure there are stories behind that, but I'm sure stories not that we can tell here.
I'm more popular in other towns than I am in my own town.
Well, we found out that people in this town, when they book Barrett, won't even mention your name.
That's right.
So,
bro,
maybe that's.
I was on Farzetta's show this morning. Not only did they include the middle, I said, make sure you mention JAKIB Media. And they turn around, I get on, and they turn around, bro, they didn't say my name. I'm like, damn, I got to say your names too?
Did you see
say my name?
Did you just see how seamless it was for me to just stop our conversation and ask John Jansen about his new show with Mike North? How difficult is that?
Now I have to stop the conversation to mention the chat because I know that's like the famous thing around here is the chat, and I'm already getting called like babyface and all that. This is already going.
Well, you're going so guy,
well,
man.
Yanni Janssen is what I'm being called now. It's already.
But they're saying you're going to look 40 when you're 60. That's a compliment.
But I'd also like to look 26 when I'm 26. That would also that would be great. That would be awesome.
Looks 42 now.
I mean, look at this. Look, this is awful. This scruff.
Yeah. I'm going. Well, that's drinking your damn PSLs. That's what that is, bro.
That prevents me from getting a beard. Yes,
it does, man.
Stunts your growth.
Get some Crown Royale in your system. You know, you'll grow some damn hair.
I like Crown Royale. I don't say it Crown Royale. I just call it Crown Royale.
Well, that's the official way.
I like it. It's good.
You've been in DC.
I'm a Jameson guy. I like Jameson.
Jameson, Jameson a beer. That's what it is. You get a shot of Jameson, you get a beer. That's
that hasn't happened yet. I've had plenty of those. And when does that happen? When do I start seeing the effects of a Jameson shot?
When you go over Poe's house, man. When you go over Poe's house,
you have to start living that older life. You have to go to the bar and order shots of Jameson beers each time.
When are we getting this round robin, Eytan?
A beer. We'll get to it right now. We'll take a quick one here on the network. We'll stay live here on the JAKIB Media YouTube page and Philly Voice back in 3 on Sports Map Radio. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Now, this is the way too early week 1 8-team 3-bet parlay round robin.
This is already a week 1 bet?
Oh, yeah.
In the NFL?
NFL, yes.
Oh, yeah. I just classified it and prefaced it as the way too early.
Is there something going wrong in your life, Eytan? Are you okay?
Oh, no, everything's great.
Okay. We're betting week 1 NFL. Do you know what month we're in?
Yes. Right. Look, if it's available, I'm going to jump in. And the value, watch, at least 4, if not 5 of these are going to swing the opposite direction based off of public betting. So watch the value play out. Now, I'm still waiting, by the way, on Bryson on a top 20 finish here for this Byron Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
So, Harry, you got to keep eyes on that for me.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the leaderboard right now.
Yeah, I had him parlayed with a Yankees game the other night, which they snuck out with Garrett Cole on the mound. That's how long ago that was with Bryson. All right, here's let's look at this. Beginning, and I'll go in chronological order here, okay? Went under the total as it stands right now at 51.5 for the Cowboys and Bucks. Mainly because of the uncertainty around Dak. I do believe he's going to be back. I do believe the Cowboys will be fine. I don't know. Yes, it's week 1. but you also have the Bucs, who have played deep in the season, as late as they've ever played outside of Brady, and you have Dak coming back week 1 in the regular season for Dak in a shorter preseason. So as much as everybody thinks shoot out all this, I went the key number 51, so I had the hook, went under 51.5.
All right.
Next, again, I tried to find that sweet spot of where the books really think this total is going to be, and it looks like, generally speaking, the books think that the Eagles-Falcons are going to finish around 48, 49 points. So what I did is I dropped it to 42.5 and went over.
Okay.
That's where I think I'm beginning to. Now, I was going to do 42, 200, but I just went 42.5, went over that total at minus 188 of a return, knowing, of course, it's in the round robin, the parlay. That's fine. But that's the big thing, is I just wanted to drop the total to a comfortable number to go over. Third play, I think this is the line, and the doubt in Pittsburgh is shocking to me, not to the point where I would take the Steelers, but where I would at least play the Steelers to score some points. There's a lot of offense around Ben Roethlisberger, so I went over 20.5 Steelers total points at minus 125. I think I can get to 3 touchdowns. I think I could get to 21, 24 points for the Steelers.
You actually have a breakdown for all of this.
Oh, yeah. He goes in
And that's what you need to do. Now the radio thing is you got to clip what he's saying now, and then the week before these games go off, compare it to what he's saying.
Right.
What he's saying then.
I got to fill 2 hours. He's got to fill 2 hours tonight.
Come on, Mikey. 49ers. Now, this is, I went a little wacky here. I got a little crazy. I got a little wild here. All right. I pushed it to minus 7.5. I took the hook minus 7.5 in Detroit. I can see it. I need a 10-point victory. I can get a 10-point victory. I don't care who the quarterback is. They're good. And that's at even money.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So that's now 5
of them. Yeah.
Final 3 plays here for you. John Jansen's in the house at JJansen34, as you can see on the stream, the JAKIB Media YouTube page, iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler here. And the new show is where, I'm sorry, with Mike?
Win Daily Sports.
I didn't want to give the wager. I didn't want to give the
no, you're good.
Win Daily. Seahawks. All right, final 3 here. This to me, you have way too much uncertainty about not if, but really when Carson Wentz is better than he was last year. It might take a week. It might take 2 weeks. And I feel like most reunions in real life, people try and rush to get it. Oh, I haven't seen my boyfriend. I haven't seen my wife. I haven't seen my husband. I haven't seen my dog. You try and get it all back immediately. That first hug, that first kiss, that first moment in bed. You try to get it all back in one, and you press. You might be a little sloppy that first time, or maybe a little fast that first time back. So I think Carson Wentz is going to come back and be a little premature, if you will, with his reunion in Frank Reich. So I bumped the Seahawks up.
A little premature.
Yeah. Sometimes sloppy's
that is
good.
outstanding analysis. I've never heard anything.
Sometimes sloppy's good, though, Eytan. You
Not
know?
sloppy seconds. Happen.
Yeah.
But in this case, the reunion plus, and everybody just discounting the Seahawks. And I love Seattle in this place. So I took them plus 3.5 at minus 150 on the road. I have to hook. Last 2, this one is soft and sweet. The Patriots are at home. They're going to win the game. I don't care by how many points. I don't care if it goes to overtime and it's a 1-point win. I don't care. The Patriots, with a lot of guys back on defense, are going to win their home opener. Minus 133 on the money line. And finally, Justin Fields' first game on the road, Sunday Night Football in the NFL. I don't have a problem laying the 7 with the Rams. Again, it's not a referendum or a statement on how Fields or the Bears are going to be. It's game 1 of the regular season for a brand new quarterback on the road. Meanwhile, Matthew Stafford can't wait to throw the football. Rams minus 7. There you have it.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
My head's exploding.
Right.
There you have it.
How long did it take you to get that?
Yeah, how much effort did you put into that?
Well, I had to pre-record the show that I'm doing tonight on iHeartRadio before John's show.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I did that this morning.
Just makes me do more work.
And that was a lot of it.
Oh, you already voice tracked your show?
Well, I recorded the first hour.
Okay.
This morning. Yeah, man.
Wow.
And you did this for an hour? You just went over week 1?
Well, I went over the schedule. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Let me build a ticket. Part of the excitement of my program is building a ticket. At least for me, it's probably boring as hell for people out there, but I don't know. We don't have enough metrics on sports gambling radio.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's the Wild West. All right, I carried the last 8-9 minutes, so you guys are gonna have to do this for overtime. I might leave right now and let you guys handle this.
Yeah, I don't know if we got to do NFL stuff. I think I might have to. I don't know.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you anything what's going on right now.
You don't need to say anything, man.
Just
your presence here.
Could you give me a breakdown of the Packers-Saints game?
No, but here's what I need, all right? I need a breakdown of the Phillies because I have a baseball show coming up in 2 hours. Overtime next.
Football in Philadelphia is a lifestyle, a passion from birth, and a personal responsibility to know the game. Boo when necessary. And think about Eagles! Every second of every minute of every hour of every day. Birds 365 was created for you. Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Birds 365. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network. Watch it live on YouTube.
All right, overtime. As we remind you, like, subscribe, share everything that you can here with the JAKIB Media YouTube page so you'd never miss a moment with the middle and more. So I know that you are betting heavily on baseball.
That's it. Exclusively baseball.
Oh, yeah?
Nothing. Yeah. The NBA, the final month and a half of the regular season has been brutal. Hockey, I mean, I don't know much about betting hockey or can bet it very well anyway, so I just usually stay away from it. But baseball's the only one that I've been able to find anything on.
Now, John is one of two people who has, unfortunately, and I do lead with that adverb, have suffered through my shows and meltdowns.
A lot of the Flyer stuff.
Yes, a lot of the Flyer stuff. So maybe I have just subconsciously pushed Jansen away from betting on hockey.
Well,
because he's seen how bad and rough it's been for me. I've lost it at times.
I'll tell you who's really good. You should get him on the show. Is at King of the NHL on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I know him. He's really good. At King of the NHL.
Okay. Well, why hasn't he been on here?
I didn't think you wanted to talk any hockey gambling. I'll get him on.
We never talk hockey gambling.
Absolutely, we talk hockey.
I mean, with the playoff, with the Stanley Cup playoffs, we could get him on Monday if you want.
We've definitely given out hockey plays. I've given out first period stuff for the Flyers all day.
Oh,
that's
Flyers.
My favorite thing about Eytan is he spent maybe about an entire hour or maybe the entire show talking about how much that you don't talk about the Flyers on sports radio, why you never do it, but then proceeded to talk about that for 2 hours. It was amazing.
Well, that's the end around. That's that.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Not reach around, but end around.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
No, I used to do that with the Phillies a lot, and it used to drive Jeff Mosher crazy because he'd be like, "Come on, man, let's talk about the Phillies. You know, they're 2 weeks into it. There's some excitement."
Oh, he always wanted to talk.
Right, he always be this big baseball Phillies honk. Like, come on, we got to talk Phillies. So I said, "All right, let's talk." And I would hijack the conversation and make it about the metrics and about why people aren't talking more about the Phillies and all that. And at the end, he'd be so upset. And then I remind him and say, "Look, we talked for 2 hours and took calls for 2 hours on the Phillies." And he'd be like, "That's not talking Philly."
Right. But because it wasn't about the bullpen, or it wasn't. It was about talking about the Phillies.
Yes.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, that's the genesis of my show when I first started, was basically yelling about the Phillies the way Eytan yelled about the Flyers. And so it was kind of identical in the things that we would rant and how we sounded about it.
Now, what do you got tonight? Speaking of which, Vinny Velasquez. I mean, I don't know what's harder now, the exit velocity or some of the
pitched well last time out.
He did. He's actually been pitching well as of late. You know,
2 outings,
new starts.
But that total sits at 10.5 outside of the one in Coors Field. Well, it's the highest total. No, it's combined tied with what's happening in Coors.
Where are they playing this game?
This game is in
Florida.
Florida, right at the minor league complex.
Yeah.
Dunedin.
Dunedin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, does the ball fly out of that yard more readily?
Well, the problem
in Tampa.
The problem with Velasquez, and especially if you can pick on these matchups, then I would do it. And this is one of them. Velasquez uses his fastball primarily, and that's it. He doesn't use anything else. I mean, he'll mix in the curveball and changeup, but it's so inconsistent that he's throwing his fastball, I think, over 50% of the time, which is not what you should be doing.
He's trying to mix it in, though.
Right, he's trying, but he is using his fastball so much that if you get a team like the Blue Jays who absolutely crush fastballs, then this is a matchup that I think is an absolute nightmare for Vince Velasquez. This is one where I can see Vlad Guerrero Jr., Teoscar Hernandez, Bo Bichette, and all those guys just hitting home runs. And this is the one start that I think could get a little out of hand for Velasquez here. It's just not a great matchup.
So you like the over?
I don't know how good of a matchup it is.
I could, yeah.
Mats.
Yeah, I would go the over. Because I know the Phillies can hit Mats. I don't think he's great. But I also don't trust
he's a contact pitcher, right? I mean, he's not going to.
Yes, and the Phillies are right-hand dominant when it comes to their lineup. So they have plenty of pop at the right side of the plate. Mats is one that I don't think is very good, but it's just anytime you're talking about the Phillies, it's do you trust them to put up enough runs?
Right.
Which are just inconsistent. They were like that last season. I was trying to bet them over on a lot of games, but it was starting to get so inconsistent. A lot of their runs came in, just individual games and single performances where they put up 9-10 runs, and it was kind of skewing the numbers a little bit. And it wasn't being, extended over a long amount of games. So the Phillies just do way too inconsistent for me to bet. But I would probably like the Blue Jays tonight, if anything.
You're probably going to get a good, I would think, decent return on an over first 5. If
probably
could dropped it, right? Like whatever it is, if it's 4.5 or whatever it may be with that high total, if you bumped it up to, like, let's say it's 4.5, if you bumped it up to 5.5, you'll probably get a pretty good return, knowing that, as you said, there's a really good opportunity for both of these lineups to get their second turn in the second or third innings, as opposed to going through a standard, as far as how long it may take normally to get through that lineup. Both.
Yeah. And I think the books have kind of caught on to maybe the fact that the Blue Jays could hit Velasquez hard and Mats isn't very good, because the total runs for the first 5 innings I'm seeing is at 5.5. I've not seen that once so far this season. It's usually 3.5, 4.5 when I look for first 5 over-unders, but this one's at 5.5. I haven't seen that yet. So they must have caught on to something, or caught on to the fact that the Blue Jays could actually crush Velasquez. Mats is inconsistent and bad, frankly. So that bet to me is completely off the board now. I would, if anything, I mean, you would think an under 5.5 just because it's plus money, but I'm not willing to do that because Velasquez could give up 5 runs in the first couple innings, I think.
All right. Well, then where else? Give us an idea.
Do you have any hockey before the playoffs? Any series you like, or maybe odds to win the cup
on hockey?
I don't have odds, but I will say this: I am a huge Carolina Hurricanes supporter. I
like them too. That's my squad now.
They are so much fun to watch. They're a great young team. They built the organization the right way.
The goaltending's a little suspect, though. If they get good goaltending, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, exactly. It's been surprisingly good all season. Peter Mrazek has been fantastic. But yeah, the Hurricanes, I have watched that organization build this team up, and a lot of these young players come up because I was living in Carolina, and the only hockey game I ever been to was a Hurricanes game like 4 or 5 years ago.
I was at their first game ever.
Were you really?
Yeah, it was at the Greensboro Coliseum.
Oh my God.
And I was up against the glass, and they played the Pittsburgh Penguins with Lemieux
that's amazing.
and Yager. It was awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah, they're in obviously Raleigh and PNC arena. That is a gorgeous area, Raleigh. But the Hurricanes, I've seen it just from years ago into now. That's a great young hockey team that was sort of ready. I think this season was the one they were absolutely ready to start winning in. So I'm still, I mean, it's hard because out of all the things that have gone weird in hockey and just sports in general, and the NBA seems like it's wide open. Colorado was the team that came into the season as the favorite and ended the season with the most points.
Yeah, they're dominant. Yeah,
they're just too good. They're so good.
Speaking of which, real quick, we saw this crush last night. The over was at 13-8 was the final. Now, granted, you had a pitching matchup that I think really aided that. But once again, Cincinnati in Colorado, that total sits at 10.5. It was 11, I believe, or 11.5. The gate closed at last night. I imagine that 10.5 is low enough to bet over pretty heavy, right?
It could be. Wade Miley's good.
He is good.
Yeah, so I'll give him that.
What was that?
Marquez is a little. He's a little inconsistent. I don't know if I would trust him. And so, yes, I agree. I was actually, and I think that the value is kind of lost, but the Rockies are just, they're always valued in the market as like this bad baseball team. And they are. You look at the record, they're terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But at home, they are a completely different team. And so this entire Red Series, they've been billed and priced as this team that's going to lose every game this series. And finally, this is the first game where Colorado's the favorite, when Cincinnati actually has the better pitching matchup and is probably where I would go with Cincinnati because of Miley. But just if you're seeing Colorado at home and you see a kind of big money line, I have no problem taking it because they have actually been pretty good at home. And it's the only time that you can bet on them, really.
All right, real quick. They don't have to be long answers by any means, but do you have two plays outside of what we talked about tonight, 7 o'clock on? You know, these day games are tough. Just tonight, because it's going to be your time anyway. You're going to be on from 8 to 10 tonight, the line change on iHeartRadio's Fox Sports The Gambler here, of course, in Philly.
Yeah, I know the one I liked a lot was the Brewers and Braves game. I like the Brewers in this one because the Braves are putting out Drew Smyly, left-handed pitcher that's terrible. I think an ERA over 6 at this point. The Brewers lineup is bad, but they actually hit left-handed pitching pretty well. And they have a guy, Adrian Hauser, on the mound that I like. Braves are one that I'm okay with betting when they're on the road, betting against when they're on the road. They're one that just has terrible home road splits. So I think the Brewers is a team I'm looking at. I like Hauser a lot, too. I think he's a really good pitcher. So minus 129 is a good price to pay for that. And I got to go with the Red Sox here. And I know betting on Nick Pivetta doesn't seem like a good thing to do, but Nick Pivetta is
5-0.
Yeah, he's actually been great. And it's a little bit of Pivetta, and that's why I didn't want to bet I was going to bet the run line, but I stayed away from it because I'm worried a little bit about Pivetta because the Angels can hit right-handed pitching really well. But the Red Sox lineup should absolutely crush Griffin Canning. I mean, this game should be almost what the Red Sox last game, they put up 8 runs early. Yeah. This is one where the Red Sox lineup has been great all season. They're at home, and they're facing a very favorable matchup against Canning, and I think they end up hitting him very hard in this one.
Good stuff, brother. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for sending me the right link, Barrett. I appreciate
it. Barrett's going to hit you back next time you text him.
No, he won't. I'll talk to you in a couple weeks, Barrett. I'll talk to you in a month.
There you have it.
I'll talk to you when it's pumpkin spice latte season time.
There you go.
I'll talk to you.
We'll see you all on Monday. Thanks for watching.
Later.
Football in Philadelphia is a lifestyle, a passion from birth, and a personal responsibility to know the game. Boo when necessary. And think about EAGLES! Every second of every minute of every hour of every day. Birds 365 was created for you. Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Birds 365. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network. Watch it live on YouTube.